You are listening to Thunderbolt Sports Talk. Here are your hosts, Charlie Adams and Timothy Yee.
Welcome to episode number 13 of Thunderbolt Sports Talk. We are back live bringing you all the Thunderbolt sports coverage. And it's been another busy week, another kind of stressful week, filled with plenty of things to do in school year winding down, but there's always something happening in the Emerald City, and we can kick it off with the East Sports, which, Tim, it hasn't been the best of week for you.
Best of weeks.
Hasn't been, especially when you're looking in at the Cranston East Sports, which we've been thinking since all the way back football season when you miraculously hopped off of doing play-by-play and Cranston East picked up their first football win in years, the only football win that they ever picked up while you were a member of the Cranston High School East Student Union or whatever you want to call it, student council, whatever. And now, as you return from Cambodia, you came back to a thriving Emerald City with plenty of victories to go around, plenty of long win streaks. 2 down, 1 to go, Tim. How does it feel now that our undefeated tennis team has taken their first loss?
Well, I mean, Chaz, if you look at the teams that, the Emerald City has lost to, these are very strong, very good teams. So, it's just a matter of fact that, East has to drop something, at least at this point. No team can be invincible. Look at the 2007 Patriots, Chaz. It looks like they were unstoppable, and, then they lost. It's just a matter of, you can't always be perfect, Chaz. You can't always be perfect, and maybe instead of focusing on the negatives, we can try and focus on the positives of everything, which, I will do so right here with my sports recap. So on May 4th, may the 4th be with us, Chaz. Our girls lacrosse team got a double overtime win over Rogers. It was their first win of the season. So, that's certainly something very positive there, something very happy to look at. I mean, Lily Tilling has 6 goals, Elsa Pereira 2 goals, 2 assists, Belle Dupree a goal, 2 assists, Isla Tusha a goal, Maddie Flynn a goal, Allison Flores a net 5 saves, their first win, Chaz. So, if you're gonna be mad about that, that's kind of a weird behavior to be in. But May 4th as well. Baseball 1-0 win over Lincoln. John Devine 3 hits, 2 walks, 12 Ks. You're now looking. I mean, we got, tennis is still winning too. I mean, they're playing dominantly 5-0 at Central May 6th. Singles winners, Fowler, Agunde, Sigler, Rosales, the double teams winners coming over from Barrera and Anthony Chavaria. Lacrosse teams, of course, could still use some work, but either way, I mean, as long as they're playing happy, they're playing fun, they're playing smart, there's nothing really to be worried about. Boys volleyball got it done versus North Smithfield, a 3-1 win there. Charles Pinson's 18 kills, Carlos Laura 15 kills, Yin 15 digs, Caleb Schum 45 assists. Baseball, the 6-3 loss at Tollgate. Carlos Morejo 1-for-4 with a double and an RBI. Tony DeFusco was a 1-for-3 at bat with an RBI, and Kelvin Santos going 1-for-2 with 2 walks and an RBI. And going over to May 8th, which unfortunately everything was postponed except for a unified basketball team who had the playoff game at Cranston West, who won 48-31 over the Falcons. They are on to the championship, playing against Hendricken tomorrow, Chaz. So some great news there. And of course, for yesterday, we just had one of the biggest performances by a Cranston East player, Izzy Souza. 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, 20 strikeouts, which is very much so a lot. Went 1-for-3, had a home run, apparently a grand slam, I think, as Mr. Simone put it. Other notable stat including Samaya Ahmadi, 2-for-4 with 2 RBIs in the 9-1 win over the Davies Patriots. Boys volleyball, a sweep once again over Bishop Hendricken. Pinson's 18 kills, Yin 19 digs, Laura 18 digs, Cato Compratis 15 digs, Caleb Shum, 31 assists, and Dennis Dixon with 5 blocks. That is a great stat line to have. Defensively, they are rolling. And, of course, you got to understand, the tennis team's first loss against and also undefeated North Smithfield 5-2. Singles winner Adrian Rosales, but the double teams winners from the team of Danny Song and Johan Naraki. But you got to be happy that, with these teams rolling, you get coverage, you got news coverage going around, you get Eric Rube to come to one of the tennis games and, or tennis matches and, take some flicks and write stories. So, you can't really be mad about, having journalistic coverage of esports, something which we haven't really seen too much about. And that is your recap for this week.
Well, there's a little spin on there, trying to turn the positive light out of the negative that's gone on, and not just negative, just patterns that are being noticed around the school. You can follow Thunderbolt Sports Media on Instagram at TB Sports Media. We'll probably have some more in-depth analysis on the curse of Tim Yeen, which is certainly alive and well and reared its ugly head yesterday.
Now it seems like you're putting your negative spin on things, Again, I understand the facts, and I also understand the facts to be that, the teams we've lost against are really good teams, and we've competed well against them.
From what it sounds from here, it sounds like you understand the facts and you understand which facts you want to leave out of the story.
I understand the facts, of course, that we're playing good teams, and, if we are getting coverage for, playing against good teams, and we are destroying everyone else, then I say we're in a very, very good spot, especially in the spring season, which has seen a multitude of highs, which we should not ignore.
Well, and you got to wonder if those highs would have just continued right on through these big matchups. You started bringing these big matchups home against the likes of North Kingstown and all the top teams that we're facing. It looked pretty good when we faced LaSalle. Now you're back.
It's called team growth.
Listen, you might be perfectly safe from the softball undefeated streak not closing, because this team seems unstoppable here with a 9-1 win, as we said. Isabella Sousa went 1 for 4, and in that one hit, it was a grand slam. Yes, a big contribution, led the team in RBIs, and then on the mound, 20 strikeouts. She only let her teammates make 1 out in that entire game. That's pretty unheard of. Definitely the most insane stat line that Sousa's put up this year, and there's plenty of them.
Yeah, where does it rank in your top 10 stat lines you ever seen here in your high school career, Chaz?
It's unequivocally number 1, and if you think any other way, you're an idiot. This is pretty much the best it could get, unless she struck out all 21 hitters and didn't give up a hit. She gave up a run. Her teammates only had to make 1 play, or at least make 1 out. They made 2 errors, so they had other chances, it seems. But Cranston East keeps on rolling in softball. Tim Yeen keeps on striking these teams down with the powers that he holds before him. And we saw how it did the Miami Heat, and we saw how it did boys volleyball nearly immediately. And tennis, I didn't think that they could lose. I didn't, but
you didn't.
You make the impossible possible. Now,
I've
heard that boys volleyball has a new memento, maybe around the shoulders of their head coach now, that might help them propel their way to the playoffs.
What is that?
A traditional Cambodian scarf that you've gifted to Coach Diggs.
Oh, yeah. So I did give a traditional Cambodian scarf. It's called a krama. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that the white way or the Khmer way. But, it's a little bit of a peace offering for Coach Diggs for my absence and, my return and, the unfortunate loss, which East picked up a set win, which wasn't seen in their first, matchup against North Kingstown. So that is an improvement there. Another positive, just saying. Diggs appreciated it very much, and hopefully it gives them the luck they need to make it to the championship and take home a title for our bolts.
Speaking of appreciation, it's Teacher Appreciation Week around Cranston East, and there's plenty of festivities, plenty of teacher appreciating going on, and today might be the biggest day of them all. Our Friday that's going to be highlighted, of course, by Mr. De Palma tattoos all around the school. Tim Yeen reps 2 of them. So does our producer, Ashton.
Yep.
As
weird neck tattoo, but we're not going to complain.
Hey, it's a
I've seen
fun
worse
time.
I've seen worse on the neck.
Okay.
Where there's been worse on the neck, checking out Twitter and all that.
Okay. Well, the student council was pretty in charge of Teacher Appreciation Week, isn't that right?
Of course. I'd say overall, it was a successful week. The last thing we have to do is hand out the roses and do this teacher luncheon. And, we're all set and we're all good,
Am I not mistaken that teachers were appreciated yesterday with Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A.
Some Chick-fil-A made its way into the library per source. And there was plenty to be had, even some very excited
Which period
teachers
was this?
just getting some Chick-fil-A. And
Which period was this?
it was yesterday. Did you leave early yesterday?
I had AP exams.
Oh, that's rough. We'll get into that later. Producer, what period did they bring in the Chick-fil-A? Period 3, says our producer. All right.
Period 3 was there for majority of the period in the library, actually. So
Yeah,
maybe I just missed it last second. I'm not gonna fault that, but again, it looks like we still have the luncheon today. So only enough for one lunch per our producer. So I guess the Chick-fil-A was short-lived. So I'm not sure who was in charge of the Chick-fil-A, but certainly not student council. So
Well, student council seems to have gone about 4 for 5 on their week of
would
appreciating.
you say 4 for 5 is bad, Chaz?
80%. So I'd give it a B-.
It's a passing grade. It's a passing grade. I mean, we gave out candies, which were very much well received. In your lone contribution to appreciating your teachers, you sent out a potentially emotionless video of you appreciating your teachers just to get back into Senior Assassin. Which the teachers did appreciate that very much. They appreciated the collage of everyone contributing in and, saying their love for the faculty and staff, teachers, for all they do here.
Did you see my video?
I got sources of your video.
My video was pretty much one of the most well thought out videos that were submitted, and I still made the deadline there. So
Yep. You got question the incentive of whether you would do that if you were not given the opportunity to redeem yourself in the assassination games. Just a question to be had.
I would not. But Teacher Appreciation Week went swimmingly, 80%, and that just brings me to another student council topic. And I'd like to wonder, when's the next Spirit Week? Are we going to have another Spirit Week before the seniors get out of here?
I'm not gonna lie. If we did have another Spirit Week, it would be very, very rushed. I'm not sure if you'd want that, Chaz. I'm sure if we did have that, you would be all over me, as the media is.
I'm not sure we would be able to tell the difference.
With their quote-unquote toppings. So, I don't think it's in our plans. But, if we do have one, it'll be... I don't know.
A rough exit for the student council
Rough
president.
exit. I'd like to leave out on a high note, with this Teacher Appreciation Week stuff, which our teachers are certainly very much well appreciated for. Again, the video, success, candy bags, loved. The letters were absolutely successful. All the teachers, had a letter. They were all appreciative. And, again, the roses, we hand them out, but I looked at them. They look amazing. And I think the teachers are going to have a joy when they see this.
Now, you want to end off on Teacher Appreciation Week, end on a high note for the what kind of council?
The student council. But, we are mentored by teachers and this amazing faculty. So we have to give them some love as well, Chaz. We have to give them some love as well. It's a team effort. It's a we, not me sort of mentality, Chaz.
Student council leaving the students in the dust on their final move before.
I mean, what have you done?
Who's taking your spot as student council president?
I'm not sure. I'm just. Let me ask you, Chaz. I mean, specifically, what have you done for either, the teachers and the students besides, just making a complete mockery of my reputation and just getting the work done?
Thunderbolt sports media was revitalized. It was re-energized. It was reimagined in your absence during your time in Cambodia. The fan support through the roof, the attraction, the attention, all of it, every analytic that you could check, highest during my short regime where we were pumping out content left and right, making sure everything was on the money. And you want to talk about students, helping students, the Cranston East Decisions page has been blowing through all the other decisions pages in the format, clean, crisp, effective. The posting, clean, quick, and right on the dot every time. There's no mistakes here. We're up to 64 commitment posts. Take one away for the template post. That's 63 people committed. I've posted 60 of them, and I continue to help out the students, get their names out here, get some attention on their college commitments. And that's just some of the things that Chaz does to help Cranston High School East keep the wheels turning here.
Not only the students, but also his close friend circles. I know there's been some posts regarding some questionable college decisions that had to be deleted. So maybe it's more of a question of whether Chaz helping the students overall is a question of, piggybacking, his friends piggybacking him.
There's 60 posts up there. 2 posts have been archived. There's one for Fortnite University that was posted way before anyone was really sending in commitment posts. Last year, if you remember, there was a Fortnite University post as well. That one never got taken down. I don't know who just slides in the back door and takes these posts down because it's not me. And then, yes, kid from Hendricken did get posted, but his decisions page just isn't up to the Cranston East standard. So he wanted some attention from Cranston East, who has a lot of his friends as well, and a lot of friends at Cranston West. So there's a connection there. That also got taken down. I didn't do it, but it's no longer up.
Certainly something.
Yeah.
And then, the video that got you to fame, kind of, like our producer said, through text, kind of died out a little bit after, kind of got a little bit repetitive.
We listened to our audience. They said we ran a poll, and actually they said to keep it going in the actual result.
But the vocal minority,
that's how it works.
It's only a matter of time before things die out, Chaz, and
And what do? We let it
died pretty quickly.
We let it go away. People said to use it less often. And that's what we've done. We're waiting for another 5-game streak, which could come out of nowhere. Well, now that 2 of the teams are gone, it's just our softball coach Jordan McHale left in the video because 2 teams have to build up their win streaks all the way back up. Coach Diggs might make a return before the end of the regular season, and we're excited for when that happens. But Tim, something even more exciting that's going around Cranston East is the AP exams. It's that time of year.
Oh, exciting.
And there's a strong start after the week's wrapping up here with AP exams. Started on Tuesday with AP stats. And since then, the senior CAF has been closed. There's been about 30 students who have tried to buy senior prom tickets inside of the senior CAF during testing, despite the announcements to go to the cafeteria. Of course. We were on a break for our, computer science A exam, and there were kids walking in the back door of the senior CAF looking for tickets, kind of compromising our testing room, but they were quickly gotten out of there, and hopefully that doesn't affect any of our scores because they were just, if they're not going to listen to the announcements, they're not going to be able to help us on the AP exam.
If you're unable to, listen to the announcements that are beautifully read by both broadcast and corp team, that maybe there's some problems with hearing, and you should seek out an ear doctor. That's my opinion, though. That is my opinion.
Yeah, the BBC is great at Cranston East. And I know, Tim, you had some AP tests. You kind of went through it.
Yeah, kind of lollygagged through it. I mean,
Put yourself in a tough position coming right off
tried
of
my
a
best.
vacation, and then showed out for English exam, or maybe you didn't show out. You might as well let us know. English exam. What other AP exams have you taken?
I also took the AP psychology exam. I thought I did all right. I mean, I thought I did all right on both of them. So hopefully it results in a passing grade. But, I understand the faults and tribulations I made, on the way. So, I'm happy to have it all finally done and over with. And
that was it?
Yeah.
Well, we don't need to get into any details about any murals in airport terminals or anything that was on the test until it's released 2 days later on the College Board website. All those English exams, computer science A exams, and AP statistics exams, all in the books for me. Computer science principals will round it out next Wednesday, and then I'll be out of the AP struggle and pretty much looking forward to a slowed down end of the year with not much to look towards in terms of classwork, hopefully. But, I think I did pretty good on the stats and English exam. Definitely passed both. Maybe a 5 on the stats. I don't know. It looked pretty easy. Computer Science A was rough, but not as rough as I was expecting. So it was pretty good. Pretty good. Having back-to-back AP exams is also insane. Went from English exam right into the Computer Science A exam. Definitely not ideal, but it was rough. Well, we got through it.
Of course. I mean, and the best part about AP classes is that usually, after the test, really do nothing.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting to collect data on flipping frogs and AP stats.
Yeah, you try to shoot me with one?
I could have if I wanted to. I just made sure it went a little high.
You attempted and then you airballed, so, says a lot.
I just let it go a little high, just a warning shot.
A warning shot.
And then you scurried off back to the library. A smart move for survival.
Mm-hmm. Good thing we are not using frogs for senior assassin or using the school.
That's true.
But also, I do have information on how we will be getting our yearbooks. Looks like there will be an assembly, and then we can get them from there. Not sure when the assembly is going to be, but, that's all I know.
Well, glad we can give a little update. I know there's been some concern over when or where we'll be able to get these yearbooks, and that's one way to do it. I mean, I'm pretty sure I bought one. I think my mom bought one. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
we'll find out though.
Bought one. Or I hope my mom, bought one.
Well, it's been a busy week, just not in Cranston East, but also in the sports world, where the NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, both are in full swing, entering their second round of play, and plenty of excitement with the NBA playoffs coming at the same time as the NBA regular season awards come out. Mm-hmm. Some Celtics getting some love. Not sure if any Heat got any love, but Nikola Jokic got some love as well. His third MVP in 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Maybe some controversy surrounding it. Mm-hmm. Some think that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Luka Doncic.
Doncic?
He's not cultured. Luka Doncic, whichever one you want to go with, had a chance at bringing it home. And Mr. Simone brought up the point that Jalen Brunson, who's been great with the Knicks, had a case to be in the top 3. And that Giannis finished ahead of him. A little bit questionable. Brunson, of course, definitely a big player, big contributor for the Knicks. I know Josh Hart got some big plays in the playoffs in their series, but what are your thoughts on Jokic bringing home his third MVP?
I mean, Jokic is always playing at an elite level every season, even though it doesn't look like he is, in terms of effort. But, I mean, I guess looking at the numbers, you look at the numbers laid out. I mean, you have Luka putting up 34, 9, and 10. Shai putting up 35 and 6. Then Jokic put in 26, 12, 9. But I think it was deserved. I mean, I have nothing to add to that. I mean, he's been one of the best players in the NBA. He has been, a key cog in the Nuggets, and he deserves it.
Well, all the awards were handed out again. Celtics winning Executive of the Year.
Yeah, Rudy Gobert, a DPOI.
I don't know why they even just give this award out anymore. It's been Rudy Gobert every single time, I swear. They just gave it to Marcus Smart one year.
It could have been Wembanyama if he wasn't wasn't a rookie.
Well, I mean, that doesn't necessarily kick you out of the running, but Wembanyama did great. Winning Rookie of the Year, there was a big video put together for Wembanyama from a bunch of NBA legends and all that.
This is just going to be the start from Wembanyama. I mean, he said it himself. This is just his lowest level. He's got to, give the off season. Maybe he gets the Giannis treatment and, becomes all muscular and becomes the most unstoppable player in the next couple years.
Nikola Jokic with his third MVP became the 9th player to win 3 or more MVPs. And now the people above him, 4 MVPs for LeBron, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, and Michael Jordan both have 5. And then Kareem Abdul-Jabbar have 6. He has some time in his career. He could continue to work his way up that list. There's still time for him.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see. Nikola Jokic, MVP, of course, DPOI. Rudy Gobert with Bam Adebayo running it up along with Wembanyama. Wembanyama got Rookie of the Year going against Chet Holmgren and Brendan Miller, a great shooter on Charlotte.
Yep.
The most improved player, Tyrese Maxey.
That one I question. I mean, wasn't he scoring 20 points per game last year, and then he bumps up to like 26 point something, and now he gets it again. Now he gets it this year.
Hey, I mean, definitely got the Sixers that boost they needed when Embiid went down. It's probably a pretty good pick. And they kept him in the running for the playoffs and had a great game in the play-in tournament
instead we
to take over the 7th seed.
Instead we took Precious Achua. So that's something that
looks like a great pick at the time.
Yeah. Oh.
Great pick.
Well,
6th man of the year, Naz Reid, going up against Malik Monk and Bobby Portis.
Yeah, Timberwolves winning. I think Timberwolves is going to win it all for Timberwolves Brazil. Yeah. Rest in peace.
Well, we'll get into the Timberwolves Nuggets series in a second. The clutch player of the year, didn't know when this award became a thing, but Stephen Curry brought it home over DeMar DeRozan and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Coach of the year, the Oklahoma City Thunder's Mark Daigneault got it. Young team showing out, getting a high seed in the playoffs and trying to make a run here. No Joe Mazzulla in the running for Coach of the Year.
No, I'm not going to be mad about that.
Oh, really? Well, let's get a little respect on the best team by a long shot.
Best team, season. Not the best coach.
The NBA Basketball Executive of the Year, again, Brad Stevens. Teammate of the Year, Mike Conley.
Mike Conley
is a known teammate of the year in and year out.
Locker room guy.
NBA Hustle Award went to Alex Caruso of the Chicago Bulls.
How do you define hustle?
Puts it out there, lays their body on the line, tries to get his team over.
I guess Caruso is just taking shots.
NBA Social Justice Champion has not been announced yet, but the candidates, Bam Adebayo from the Heat, C.J. McCollum from the Pelicans, Karl Anthony Towns from the Timberwolves, Lindy Waters III from the Thunder,
Lindy Waters,
and Russell Westbrook from the Clippers, all up for the Social Justice Champion. That is yet to be announced.
Yep, no Boston players, so, says a lot about how they're being socialized and justified.
Well, let's get into the NBA playoffs themselves because it's been a ride. The Celtics, with their easy defeat 4-1 of the Heat, got over that. And now on to the Cavs. The series tied 1-1. And after the Celtics had a pretty strong performance in Game 1, you had to think that the Cavaliers were going to have to show up in Game 2 and show they weren't going to be just stepped over, and they did just that. They had a great win, pretty wide margin.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Celtics were favored by minus 13 points. That was no chance that was ever going to happen. I didn't believe it. Just how these playoffs has shaken out, it seems like Game 2, the team that's going to lose the series always comes out and has a good performance.
Maybe we should bet some fake coins on the Celtics more often.
Maybe. Might make me some more fake coins. As the Pacers and Knicks series, New York's up 2-0. There's been some discussion over refereeing against the Pacers. Indiana's trying to really build something here as a basketball attraction with Tyrese Halliburton and Caitlin Clark holding it down. The Thunder versus Mavericks series is tied 1-1. Back and forth series with the number 1 seeded Thunder. The Dallas Mavericks took down the Clippers in the first round 4-2. And now Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic trying to take down this 1 seed here in our conference semifinals. Finally, the series, the Timberwolves and Nuggets. 3 versus 2. And Minnesota's up 2-0 with 2 strong wins. They'll play again tonight, 9:30 p.m. Both wins. The Timberwolves needed just 106 points to get it done. Mm-hmm. That's what happens when you have the Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Strong
and got a dog like Ant Edwards, Ant-Man. He's absolutely lighting things up right now. One of my favorite players in the NBA right now.
Well, yeah, you can't deny his talent, especially here in this playoffs where he's putting it down and also giving credit to his teammates where credit is due. Appreciating his rookies, maybe not showing up on the scoreboard as much. Jaden McDaniels not putting up many shots, but playing good, hard, tough defense and really helping this Timberwolves team. So that's your NBA playoffs at the moment. And for the NHL playoffs, the Bruins, after winning in Game 7, an overtime win over the Toronto Maple Leafs. And now they're on to face the Panthers.
Yeah, those Canadians, really taking some heavy blows as of late.
No, man.
All around, not even the sports world, Jazz. Not even the sports world.
Well, for the Maple Leafs, this just continues to be a drought of success to a high degree, and the Bruins rematching the Panthers here after last year's fiasco was a rough one. Now they're back, maybe trying to pull off the upset in their rematch. The series tied 1-1. They stole Game 1, the Bruins did, and then they paid for it dearly with a 6-1 loss in Game 2. They play again tonight. And for the Red Sox, we'll just go down all the Boston teams at this point.
Wacka, wacka, whack.
Skidding against the good teams. They took on the Braves. They got handed a couple of losses and now are approaching that 500 mark, still above. I believe they're 19-18. But Chris Sale came back to town, dominated the scene, 10 strikeouts in 5 innings. Absolutely dominant. Would be great to have a pitcher like that on our squad. And that's not to say much because our squad is doing great pitching-wise. Andrew Bailey, again, doing some great things. And Chris Sale, of course, right when we get rid of him, stays healthy and starts really balling up for the Boston Red Sox. And in the baseball world, there's a big prospect being called up. He makes his debut tomorrow, May 11th. Paul Skeens, drafted just a year ago out of LSU after bringing home the national championship. He's headed to Pittsburgh, coming from the AAA team where he had his pitch count managed and also really handled business down there, looked dominant. Now he'll get a chance at the major leagues pretty quickly, and he's bringing Livy Dunn along with him. There's been plenty of coverage of Livy Dunn, more than we've seen out of Paul Skeens at this point. It just seems like every post is focused on Livy Dunn with Paul Skeens in the background, but a big prospect making his MLB debut. I'm sure you're excited and maybe a little scared that there's a new top guy in the National League potentially going up against your Diamondbacks.
Yeah, I guess I am very, very scared, especially one that's powered up by Livy Dunn. All I have to say is poor baby Gronk, Chaz. Poor baby Gronk.
Well, it's the Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce of the MLB now. I'm sure we'll see on May 11th how they cover that. I'm sure she'll be there, and it's going to be a fun one over there in Pittsburgh. But for the Patriots, there's been plenty of news, plenty of drama, plenty of laughs as the roast of Tom Brady, the greatest roast of all time. I got a chance to watch it. It was pretty good. Plenty of excitement to go around and plenty of jokes and guest appearances from Boston faces as well as just celebrities alike. Tim, did you get a second to sit down and watch any of it?
I got a second to, watch some clips. I know there's like one joke made by dudes that Tom Brady wasn't flying with. Lots of jokes from or by Giselle, or for Giselle, his ex-wife. The Foxborough High School thing with Bill Belichick. The obvious Bill Belichick, Drew Bledsoe getting benched again. Like I said, I watched some clips of it. I thought it was pretty funny. I thought it was pretty cool. But good chance to see, everyone taking on a lighter tone, especially, considering the seriousness of, the Patriots dynasty. I also didn't know that they would be making so many Aaron Hernandez jokes too. So,
well, that's the whole thing. There's not many limits when it comes to a roast. Tom Brady had his own input. There was plenty of others. Nikki Glazer seemingly stole the show with her set that she did. It was pretty good. And Peyton Manning was the final guest appearance. He just came out and went in on Tom Brady and Tom Brady's final rebuttal. Also, it was just a good time on Netflix. Streamed live, one of their first live streamed events. They've been kind of dipping their toes into it, getting more live streaming going before they pick up the contract to WWE's Monday Night Raw coming up in 2025. That's going to be their first real live TV that's just weekly. They've done special events, and this one of them coming from Inglewood, California, part of the Netflix Is a Joke Fest, where seemingly every single comedian that you could think of was doing performances at the same time in the same place. And this was one of the headliners, the greatest roast of all time, available on Netflix, and it was a good one. Plenty of fan support. Travis Kelce enjoyed it. All these faces in the media world enjoyed it. Two people that probably didn't enjoy it were Felger and Maz, 98.5, the Sports Hub's best, who were talking about the Celtics over there on the Sports Hub and said, or at least brought up the question on whether the championship would even count because of how easy the run to the championship would be. Do you even really count it? Does it have the same weight as the in-season tournament championship banners?
yeah,
I don't know what they're saying. They're sounding stupid. I don't know. That's what they do
I
for
think
a
they
living.
sounded smart on that one.
Yeah, you agree with that take?
Yeah, I very much agree. That's a rare agreement with some Celtics dudes.
Well, that says a lot more about you than anything else you could have said here on the program today.
Yeah, I refuse to certify the results of the 2024 NBA Finals if it came to a Celtics victory.
If the Celtics win, it's too easy to count it. Well, it'd
Mickey
be
Mouse.
nice for the Celtics to not face the Timberwolves or the Nuggets in the playoffs, or at least in the championship. Both teams would be easy, but Nuggets, I think, would be a harder try for the Celtics to get over. They didn't really do too good against the Nuggets in the regular season, or as many say, the preseason to the playoffs, because that's just how it feels in the NBA. And Celtics seem to have shown that as they drive through every team. I know quotes come out saying that it's going to be hard to win 4 games against them. I believe Jaylen Brown brought that up. And it's a good point. Good point. Plenty of action in the sports world. We touched on ELA a little earlier, but let's just give it its own second here to mention the other couple of things besides the AP exam. Yes, we're reading Macbeth, another Shakespeare classic that stands up to modern times. I don't know. What's your opinion?
Oh, I mean, it's a complex read, I guess. All I'm knowing is that some dude's already dead. The king's already dead. So I wonder what's gonna happen next to, the supposed Macbeth.
Well, we had that going on. We also have our final draft of our research paper coming up. One of the biggest assignments in our senior year.
Yeah.
I think I got it pretty set up for success. Should just maybe dump out. I'm like 13 pages on a 9-page limit, so I might just toss out. He split up my paper into 2 parts, said part 1 is basically summary, part 2 is good. I had a 95 on the rough draft, but I might just chop out 4 pages in the first half and then get down to the page limit and hopefully improve my grade up a little. I know you have a little more heavy lifting to do.
Yeah, I got to put in a little bit of grease into mine, but I'm not worried about it. I should be fine. It'll all work out in the end.
Yeah, the positives here.
Yeah. The positives, a big highlight of today's show.
Yeah. Let's talk about a negative before we sign off.
Fine.
Boston Celtics legend? Well, he played for him. Glenn Davis, known as
Big Baby Davis.
Big Baby Davis, sentenced to 40 months in prison for involvement in healthcare fraud scheme.
Well,
where what I think after reading that is what happened to all the celebrities supporting crypto? I don't know. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah.
There's plenty of fraudulent things there. Something got to be wrong there, but whatever. Glenn Davis, 40 months in prison, plus 3 years of supervised release following his November 2023 conviction for involvement in a scheme to defraud the league's healthcare plan. It was a big story when it came out, and now we're getting some consequences for these actions. Shout out to Yahoo Sports, Ian Castleberry, contributing writer, for providing that information. And Tim, do we have any other sports topics or topics in general that we'd like to cover before we say goodbye and see you next week, Friday, May 17th, for our next episode?
I mean, if you really want, it's 8:51 right now. I mean, if we want to have time to squeak in a little bit of the Drake-Kendrick beef, if you'd like, we can pull through that, or we can close it right there. It's your choice, Chaz.
Well, I know you said you kept up a little bit with it.
A little bit. I mean, I know there's been some, the allegations on X that, Kendrick is using Twitter for his lyrics on his latest
those
Not Like Us.
Those had to be jokes.
Yeah,
there's
hopefully.
no way.
Yeah, hopefully.
But, just easy digs that Kendrick Lamar seems to have plenty of ammunition to bring against Drake.
Yeah.
And he seems to not be holding many bullets back here. There hasn't been a response yet from Kendrick Lamar to the Heart Part 6 that Drake released. They've been doing pretty good on naming these songs, I do have to say. All of the names of the songs seem to have some pretty good meaning, some good cover art. Drake's biggest gripes don't seem to stand up against the gripes that Kendrick is levying against Drake, and Drake is basically saying he's basically just not denying but saying that he knew what was coming and all of this. I don't know. I think Drake's definitely not winning this rap beef right now. It's kind of taking a turn, but we'll see.
Yeah.
How it ends up. Maybe Kendrick responds soon, and maybe Drake maybe just continues forever. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe, real winner is J. Cole, happy.
Oh, we don't care. J. Cole is just on the beach
J. Cole
chilling.
is happy. on the beach chasing butterflies. He is living the life right now, not worrying about anything. So
Now, when I'm thinking about the beef and I'm thinking about J. Cole's involvement, I think I could see J. Cole come back on Kendrick's side, maybe go against Drake, and that could turn the tides if we see Kendrick Lamar featuring J. Cole on the next diss track. That could just put an end to it because Drake's been taking some shots at J. Cole now that he kind of dropped out of this race. And, that was your ally. That was the guy you were with, and now he's gone and you're taking shots. He said that Kendrick Lamar is right. It's not the big three. It's only Big D, talking about Drake, Big Drake. And that's a shot at J. Cole. He's saying how J. Cole thought the Kendrick Lamar stuff was good and that he would have to get out of there. And there's just been shots on J. Cole that if he ever re-enters, it could really shake things up. If he joins alongside Kendrick Lamar, maybe we see a Baby Keem feature as well, because it's always better when Baby Keem is involved. Tim, episode 13, and last thing before we sign off, Tim, can you please explain what the title of this episode is, and just so everyone understands?
Man, I love faculty.
Fair enough, Teacher Appreciation Week in the books, and
Yep. Last thing, happy birthday to Mr. De Palma too. It's on Sunday.
as the whole school continues to rep his face around Cranston High School East. We'll say goodbye now for episode 13, and Tim, you can sign us off here.
Whack, 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 whack.